Dear students, let's continue with salt analysis. We are left with basic radicals which belong to group 5 and 6 that will complete the individual tests as I have been discussing group wise, and then we can start with the unknown salts. So this would be experiment number 21 in continuation with group 4 cations that we have completed. So in this experiment, we will test the presence of barium, which belongs to group 5, barium, strontium and calcium. So we'll write aim to test the presence of barium ion in the given salt, which is Ba with 2 positive charge. First we'll carry out the physical test. Now you all know we have written so many experiments. Everybody is aware that what comes under physical test, and this you will be doing actually when you get the salt and do it in the lab yourself. Then we'll start with the chemical test. To the aqueous solution of the salt, I'm going to add group reagent. So this is the preliminary test which will give me the indication that yes, this particular group members may be present. So we'll take the aqueous solution of the salt and add solid ammonium chloride followed by ammonium hydroxide in excess and freshly prepared ammonium carbonate solution to it. Warm it and allow it to stand for some time. You will get a white precipitate if any of the group 5 members are present. That's why I have written it like this. It may be barium, strontium or calcium. Because after this, group 5 and 6, we are going to start with unknown salt. So there we would be writing like this. We will not be writing the individual ion there. We'll write everything which is possible. So the group 5 members, they all gave white precipitate in the preliminary test. So we'll write it may be barium, strontium or calcium. And then we'll carry out the test in the same order. First for barium, then strontium, then calcium. In case I don't get barium, I'll go for strontium. If I don't get strontium, I'll go for calcium. And if I get the positive test, confirmatory test for barium, I will not go further. I'll stop here for group 5 that this particular cation is present. So here are the confirmatory tests. We will collect the precipitate, white precipitate that we obtained in the previous step in a test tube and dissolve it in minimum quantity of dilute acetic acid and then heat it so that you boil off any extra CO2 because it may interfere with the test. Divide the solution into two parts. First will be potassium chromate test. Be careful, it is potassium chromate, K2Cr O4. It is not dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7. This is a very common mistake. So you have to take potassium chromate. To one part of the solution, you will add a few drops of potassium chromate solution and it will give you a yellow precipitate. Then dilute sulfuric acid test. To the other part, because we divided this into two parts. So the second part I'll take and add a few drops of dilute H2SO4 to it. Here I'm going to get a white precipitate which is insoluble in dilute HCl. So these two are the confirmatory tests. And for group 5 specifically, we have a characteristic flame test. The basics we have done in the periodic table, that why only barium, strontium, calcium which belong to group 5 of salts basic radical. It is not a group 5 of the periodic table. So don't get confused there. Flame test is carried out for them because they have low ionization enthalpy, so they easily get the electron excited, the outermost electron, and when it comes back to the ground state, it gives you a characteristic color in the visible region. It delta E belongs there, that's why. So flame test will carry out. For that we need paste of the given salt in concentrated HCl specifically. The reason behind this is that it is going to give me the chloride of that particular cation then, which are volatile. And for carrying out flame test, you need something which converts to vapors quickly so that you can see the color, characteristic color properly. And then you make use of platinum wire. The reason for platinum wire is it is not reactive metal, it is a noble metal, so we don't want anything to interfere with the test. So I am taking platinum wire, make a loop of this platinum wire around the pencil tip and then hold small quantity of the paste of salt in concentrated HCl and then put it directly in flame carefully. You will get a green, grassy green flame which confirms that it is barium. Confirmed. If you have to carry out test for unknown salt, and suppose you initially carry out flame test and you are getting this characteristic flame, then you can be sure that yes, it is barium. But I have to then perform all the tests systematically, starting from group 0, to show that they are not there, to be doubly sure. Okay, I cannot straight away start with the group 5 test. So when I discuss how to write it for unknown salt, I'll be discussing this in detail, and the result would be the given salt contains barium ion in it. So these are the reactions involved for barium. When you add the group reagent in basic medium, you'll get a white precipitate because of the formation of barium carbonate. Then you dissolve it in acetic acid, it will be giving you barium acetate, and you heat it to boil off any extra CO2 which is there so that it doesn't interfere with the test. Then the confirmatory test, we added K2CrO4, we got a yellow precipitate because of the formation of BaCrO4. And the second is on adding dilute sulfuric acid to it, it will give me barium sulfate. That is a white precipitate. We have done this in the test for sulfate ion in the acidic radicals. So you must remember that this is a white precipitate which has a characteristic property that it is insoluble in HCl. Next would be the test for strontium. So this is going to be experiment number 22. Same way you will write down, test the presence of strontium, Sr2 plus in the given salt, physical test, same preliminary test because they belong to same group. You'll get a white precipitate, you'll write it may be barium, strontium, calcium, and then the confirmatory test. First one, ammonium sulfate test. Collect the precipitate in a test tube and dissolve in minimum quantity of acetic acid. See, this is also common. For this group, white precipitation using the same group reagent, and then we are dissolving it in the same chemical, same acid, and then boiling of CO2. To this solution, we'll add a few drops of ammonium sulfate solution. Again, I'm going to get a white precipitation, so strontium ion is confirmed. Same way, carry out the flame test as we did for barium. You'll get a crimson red flame. So it confirms the presence of strontium. Then the given salt contains strontium ion in it would be the result. These are the reactions involved for strontium. First, the preliminary test. We got the white precipitation because of strontium carbonate formation. Then we dissolved it, the white precipitate in acetic acid. We got strontium acetate. And then to strontium acetate, we added ammonium sulfate and it gave me a white precipitate of strontium sulfate. Now this would be experiment number 23. Calcium, the last member of group 5. To test the presence of calcium ion in the given salt, first we'll carry out the physical tests as usual. Then the preliminary test. Same because it belongs to same group as barium and strontium. To the aqueous solution, solid ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide followed by freshly prepared ammonium carbonate solution. Warm it, allow it to stand for some time. It will also give you a white precipitate. Because I'm carrying out the same test here, so for every group, I can write all the members like this if I'm getting a positive test. All of them give a white precipitation, so I'll write it may be barium, strontium, and calcium. And then further, we will classify, distinguish on the basis of confirmatory test. So the confirmatory test for calcium is ammonium oxalate test. Collect the precipitate in a test tube and again dissolve it in dilute acetic acid. And now we know we have to heat it to boil off CO2. To this solution, add a few drops of ammonium oxalate solution and then add ammonium hydroxide solution and scratch the sides of the test tube so that you get a precipitate. That would be a white precipitate. The sides of the test tube to be scratched with a glass rod and you'll get a white precipitation which confirms it is calcium ion. And the flame test, by using its paste in concentrated HCl, is going to give us a brick red flame. It will be a different shade of red if you compare with crimson red. So I'll write calcium is confirmed, and the result would be accordingly the given salt contains calcium ion in it. The reactions involved are, first is preliminary test. So I got a white precipitation of calcium carbonate that was dissolved in acetic acid to get calcium acetate, and then calcium acetate is treated with ammonium oxalate so that I get a white precipitation of calcium oxalate. This completes group 5. Now the last basic radical, which belongs to group 6, the only one in group 6, is magnesium. So this is experiment number 24. Aim is to test the presence of magnesium in the given salt. Physical tests followed by the one and only test for magnesium. Very easy one. To the aqueous solution of the salt, we'll add ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide, and disodium hydrogen phosphate or diammonium hydrogen phosphate, whichever is available. It will give me a white precipitation very easily, which confirms the presence of magnesium in the given salt. And we'll write the given salt contains magnesium ion in it. Quite simple and small one. And the only reaction involved is magnesium ion in the salt. When treated with diammonium hydrogen phosphate or disodium hydrogen phosphate, it will give you a white precipitation. So what is happening here? The ammonium and hydrogen ion, two positive charges are being replaced by the two positive charges of Mg2+. So this is the white precipitate that I am getting. That is all about all the basic radicals. We just finished the basic radicals also, and next presentation would be explaining that how to write for unknown salts. So I'll take an example of any salt and will treat it as unknown, and then I'll tell you how to go about it. So till then, you can just remember all the tests that I have shared till now belonging to acidic and basic radicals, because we must remember them, only then we can carry out the salt analysis successfully. And it's going to help you in class 12th as well. It's a, a compulsory part there. I mean, when you have to go for board exam, practical exam, so one of the experiments is always based on salt analysis. So prepare it properly and it will help you in theory also. Thank you.